Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Let me turn my volume up here. All right, no. So I didn't hear anyone say anything. Looks like Andrew had a thumbs up, so that's good. You can hear me. Awesome.
Yep. We can hear you, Matt. You're good.
All right, cool. I'm going to try to share my screen here. Share screen. Can you see my screen where it says Sunflower Soccer Referee Meeting?
No.
Let's try this again. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's popping up. All right, now you should be able to see it.
There you go.
I'll wait a minute or two here, get as many participants as possible. And we are recording this, so I will send it out, or actually I'll give it to Alex, the link, and then he can put it on the Sunflower. Is it going to be on the Topeka Soccer website or the Sunflower Soccer?
For this, it'll probably be on the Sunflower Soccer website.
So you can always go back to it. All right, I guess I'll go ahead and get started. We're a couple minutes into after 10 a.m. So thank you for coming. We decided to just do Zoom, weather being nasty and cold and rainy. I was hoping that it would be better weather that we can get out and do some mechanics and work on that. But so we'll just do a Zoom meeting. This PowerPoint, or I had created a PDF, will be sent to all the referees as well. So so I am, if you don't know who I am, if there's new refs to the meeting and to Sunflower, I'm the assigner for Sunflower Soccer. And my email address, I have a phone number, and the email address is assigner@sunflowersoccer.org, which you should have received because I've been sending emails to you guys. And we have more than just a director and office assistant. We have several others, but then newly hired. Alex is the director. Charlie, I believe, is still an office assistant. And then we have a person that maybe Alex can talk to this about recreational program.
Yeah, Charlie's going to be moving, taking care of just the select level teams. So you guys will probably deal with her less. Jerica Henderson, who is a former board member, she's going to be the coordinator for the whole recreation program. She'll probably be the main, she will be the main point of contact outside of the field marshals on game days. So if you have questions about, payment or W-9s or anything, she'll be the one to talk to. But obviously you can talk to any of us in the office to, if you have questions or anything like that.
Yeah, and you can email me, and I'll email more information of the different email addresses for the new people at Sunflower. So I'll look for that email. We will have more field marshals this season. I'll be field marshaling. I think we'll have two others that would field marshal at least, and then or maybe I don't know if there's others, Alex, but we'll have more eyes on site, going to games, watching, and making sure that everything's going well for you guys and smooth. So if there's any, you just need to look for I believe it's Yellow Jackets, and it actually says Marshal or Field Marshal. Just look for that. If there's an issue going on in your game and, a parent irate or something's happening that you need to get a field marshal, then they should be close at hand. So just look for the Yellow Jackets. Assignments will come out a week before matches. So the season starts next Saturday. I should have the schedule out probably by the 16th. I think everything's finalized by the 15th. So I should have it out on the 16th. And And thank you for putting in your availability on the Google form. If you have not done that, please do that. And you can change it anytime by just clicking on the link, and you should be able to edit it anytime. I always ask for availability for the whole season. I know that changes. So what I do is week by week, I bring down everyone's availability in a spreadsheet, and then I can see who's available that weekend. So if it changes, just update that Google form. If you're having issues with that, let me know. You should be able to edit it because I put in the settings that you can edit it anytime you want by just clicking on that link. So once I send out the spreadsheet, or excuse me, it'll be a Google sheet, and that'll be updated real time. So if you're ever wondering, okay, do I have matches? Once I send that link to the Google sheet, it is real time. So if I go do an update, it is updated that moment. So once I send that sheet out, please check your email. Look what matches you have. You can easily do a find in the Google sheet and find all your matches. Make sure if you have your availability for Saturday and Sunday being available, you might have games on both days. So you need to check both tabs. I don't put the whole on one tab, both days. It's Saturday and Sunday. So check both tabs, do a find on your name, and then confirm those matches. Please email me back. I have your cell numbers. I will call you if I have to say, are you working or not? Because it's very important to have the three, 2 for under 8 and 3 for under 9 up referees for those matches. So please confirm your matches as soon as possible. And if you can't work, I schedule at 11 a.m. and you're like, well, I can't get there to 12. Just let me know that. Well, we can switch things around. I can find another ref. Because when I did the Google form, it's morning, afternoon. So you might not be able to start at 8 in the morning. But if you can't do that and you can start at 9, then we'll work around your schedule. And if for some reason something comes up after I've already assigned you and you're like, oh, something came up, I'm gone this weekend. Please let me know as soon as possible. Don't let me know at Friday night, oh, I won't be there tomorrow, because that doesn't help me. We need to have refs. So let me know any conflicts as soon as possible. And you can just email me back. And I also have my cell number in here. So if you need to text me, that's fine. And I will update and take you off the schedule if you're not available. Now, if there's other games, you're like, hey, I can take more games. That'd be great. Because I think based on what Alex is saying, the director, is that there's a lot of teams. There's going to be a lot of matches. There's a lot of opportunities to make some money and ref this season. If you're sick in the morning of, you just contact me. My cell number is there on the page here. And so we're gonna have standbys. So that should be, they can come in and work for you, but that's not the idea, is just to say, oh, I'm not gonna work this morning. If you're sick, I understand. If there's a huge conflict, I understand, but you need to let me know. This is a job. You actually get paid very well for 14, 15, 16-year-olds. So take it as a job. And if you're assigned and you confirm those games, we expect you to be there.
Matt, can I jump in here?
Sure, Alex.
We're going to be, like Matt said, this is a job. I'm happy to do, and I'm sure Matt is probably the same way. I'm happy to do letters of recommendation, or,
Oh, yeah.
If you want to use this as a reference for another application, be it college or another job, I'm happy to do that. But we will be keeping track of no call, no shows, just like any other job. And if you reach a certain limit, like 3, then we'll probably just stop assigning you. And that will be basically you getting fired. So please take this seriously. I know everybody's learning, but you are getting paid just like any other job. And we take it seriously just like any other job. So you need to as well.
And to add onto that, if you're really taking referee like more seriously, like I want to try to get into the state cup or get into things like that, where you kind of progress through the ranks, that's just something that we can evaluate too, because we're going to be doing, I'll talk later about a referee mentoring program that we're going to be doing for Sunflower as well. It's all across Kansas. It's everywhere. Heartland, Call Valley, everything, everyone's doing it. So if that's something you're interested in, then I have contacts with the people that assign for State Cup, and that's something we can talk about. So this can be not only just a job, but something that you can, they're always looking for very good refs, and it's a great opportunity if you want to get into the referee world. So, so yeah, if you're willing to take on more matches, let me know. And we will have standbys. So you will see if you says standby and Saturday morning at 8 to 12, then you know you're a standby. And we'll talk more about that, how that works as we go through the slides. So this is an example of a game card. Your name needs to be readable. If it's not readable, we can't pay you because we don't know who you are. So make sure that you put the date, the time, the field, the division, and then how many minutes per half. In this particular case, we're talking about open boys, which is 13 plus. So they play 35-minute halves. Make sure the referee signs, and then the 2 ARs are signed. If you're on the under 8 game, we'll have 2 referees. So you just have 2 signatures. You can just put one under the referee, one under the assistant ref. You're still going to get paid the same. So, and then you need to have the coach's name, last name, and then the color of their team. One thing this year is that there's going to be, and teams are going to have different colors. It's not going to be the same as we had last season where you just, there's a white and then there's a blue. Everyone has their own color. And then in some divisions, 2 teams might have the exact same color because there's 15 teams in the division. So we don't have 15 colors that we can order. So that's why I emailed and said you need to make sure you have a yellow and a green. In case there's a yellow or a green team playing, then if there's a yellow versus a green, we're going to have pennies for one of the teams because so they don't confuse the referees. But make sure you have a yellow and green jersey just in case you run into games like that. On top of that, if there's 2 teams, say the two red teams are playing, then that's going to be asterisked on my schedule. And we'll make sure that the field marshal gives you pennies so that you can take it to the field. And I believe the home team needs to wear the pennies. And so the home team will be wearing the pennies. So, so be ready for that. Also, you need to make sure that you put the final score. You can see I put little tally marks to keep track of the score. And then in the bottom, you actually put the final score so that everything can be recorded properly. Bring the game cards back after you're done reffing, back to the office. And if it's during the weekday, because we'll probably end up having some weekday matches if someone has to reschedule, there's a slot that's right, it's connected right to the front, by the front door of the office. You can just slip it right in there because obviously no one will be there at the time to get it from you. Any questions on that? Does that make sense? I take that as that's good. Okay, so Sunflower Soccer dealing with rules. We have COVID-19 protocols. I believe Shawnee County is going to be coming out with some new protocols, but what we know, and Sunflower will put that on their website once we finalize it. It's going to be a little bit different than last fall. It's a little more or less restricted, but we're still going to keep with having the coin toss. Make sure there's only 1 captain per team. They're 6 feet from each other, and then you can do the coin toss. And when the match is done, we're not going to have any handshakes. Just wave and just go off the field. The teams will do the same. They'll just wave and leave. One difference this season is bring a mask. When you're by the office or concession stand, there's a lot more people in that area, so wear a mask. Otherwise, if you're walking through the parking lot or walking to the field or on the field, you don't need to wear a mask unless you want to. It's not mandatory, but if you feel more comfortable wearing a mask, that's fine. So it's up to you on that part. Any questions on that? Okay. All right, so here's a little bit of our summary, high level summary of our referee coaching, mentoring. Kansas Youth Soccer is trying to help the referees to become better referees. And so this is a program of not what you're doing wrong, but it's more of how can we improve? Things that you can improve on so that you can become a better ref. It's no different than if I'm on my job now, my main job, I get evaluated twice a year. And we talk about what I can improve on and what I've done well. That's basically what this is to help all the refs become better referees. Experience is the best teacher. The more matches you can ref, the better you'll get at it. And we want to try to help you so you develop good habits. And the big thing, number one thing that is the best thing to do is to show up looking great, looking professional. Your shirt's tucked in, socks are up. You just look like you're ready for the job. That's a big thing. Appearance is number one. Number two, we focus on hustle, getting to the goal line when needed. And when calling fouls, the referee, center referee, calling fouls, you see a foul, call a foul, blow your whistle and blow it loud so that coaches appreciate that. We want the kids to be safe. And so when you're calling fouls, the game flows, it's a lot safer and the kids are having more fun. And I guarantee you the coaches will not be upset. I want to, when I coach, I want to see calls. If there's a foul, call it and keep everyone safe. So we're going to focus on looking at your parents, the hustle, calling fouls, and where the restarts correct. One thing I'm going to try to do is if I have some more experienced referees and if there's center ref, the new referees will be assigned with them. So they'll get to have the experience and knowledge and learn from the experienced referees. So that's one thing I try to do, especially if you're a first year referee, you will only be AR. Now, if you're, been in the experience with soccer for a long time and you think, well, I can do center ref, then we can talk about that. Because if you have a real good knowledge of the game and you understand and you think that you can do center ref, become a center ref, then we can talk about that. For the most part, 12, 13-year-olds starting off, you're going to be just AR, which is fine. It's then you can learn and you don't have to have all the responsibility that center ref has to have. So this is kind of our coaching score. Our goal is to make coaching as understandable and possible for the referees and scoring and performance consistent across coaches. So what this is across all of Kansas, this is how we're evaluating. Ignore the very last one for advanced coaching. That's for the academy referees, the ones that are way more advanced than they're actually going into regionals and things like that. But for the two that we're going to focus on is for the 1 year and 2 year referees, and then the 3+ referees. We have meet. They perform at a level satisfactory for their experience. That is good. If you meet expectations, that is a good thing. And an area for improvement, that's something that if we see something you need to improve on, then we'll talk about it. And everything's positive. This is not, what are you doing wrong? How could you do that? This is about being positive and trying to help you become better referees. For the 3+ referees, we're going to have 3 different categories: advanced, meet, and area for improvement. Advanced is expecting more and they deliver. Meet, which is still great. If you meet expectations, that is a good thing. And then area for improvement. And you might meet most of it, and there might be just one part that you need to improve on. And then the idea is that we'll evaluate, and then maybe we'll evaluate you 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, and then see how you improved. All this information gets sent to our Kansas youth, soccer youth referees coordinator. And so that we can see how referees have improved and kind of do a little bit of statistics and analysis on it. So it's a great program. We'll have 3 of us will be doing it. I'll be doing it, and possibly 2 others will be doing it. And so we'll go from different fields and watch. And at halftime, we'll evaluate and talk about things and then see how you improve in the second half. Is there any questions on this? Again, this is a good program. It's exciting to have this. it's going to benefit everyone, and it's going to help all the referees become better, especially for Sunflower. It's great that, it's great to start hearing coaches talk about, oh, referees are doing a great job, and that's where we want to be. So, okay, pre-game responsibilities. If ARs check the nets and goals and make sure they're secure, so make sure the nets are secure. The teams have the same colors. We're gonna have an asterisk, so you will have pennies, and you just need to give it to the home team and have them tell them that they need to wear the pennies for the game. Make sure you get them all back and put them back in the bag after the game. In recreational league, there's no player cards, so you only need to make sure they're properly equipped. So you don't need to worry about player cards. For referees, make sure you call fouls. Take care, and then the AR is going to take care of substitutions. Let the center ref know when all players have exited the field. A lot of times what we do is we just have the flag in our right hand, and then when all the subs are out and ready to go, we switch it to our left hand so that the center ref knows, okay, I can go on, and they blow the whistle and play continues. Make sure you have good mechanics. I will send out proper mechanics, just kind of refresher course. I'll email out early next week. But slow down, take your time. Make sure you hold that flag, especially AR with an offside. Don't put your flag down because the center ref doesn't see that you caught offside. Hold that flag up and get his attention by, if he's not seeing you, move your flag a little bit so he can hear it, and then you get the offside call. So don't put your flag down just because the center ref doesn't see the flag. It's proper, it's an offside call. It's your call. You hold to it. And we talked about this before. Look professional. Be properly dressed. If you're dressed well, then that's the coach is going to respect that. They're going to think, know that you're ready for this match. You're ready to referee. So approach the game in a way that shows you're looking forward to being there and being part of the game. And obviously dress for success, wear the proper USSF uniform. And again, make sure you have yellow and green. If for some reason you forget one, we will have ones on hand that you can borrow for the day, but then you just need to give it back. So just make sure you have it in your bag. Make sure you know the rules of competition. I will send out the rec rules again, and the length of halves. So have that on hand. We should have it at the office too, just a picture or print off of the rules. But make sure you understand for each age what the rules are.
Matt, can I jump in?
Sure.
We printed off cards for all you guys, for all the referees, that have the game times per game model, like per age, and what size ball, and then a copy of the mercy rule on the back, just so everybody's has it on.
That's great, Alex. So we'll have it on hand. So, but it's good just to kind of know it by heart, then you don't have to worry about it, especially the mercy rule. Sometimes it's hard to remember that, but that's great that he got cards for you. Make sure the game report, the game card, make sure your name's on it and signed, it's readable. And like I said before, if we can't read your name, we can't pay you. So write it very carefully. So things to do as a referee: take charge. Doesn't mean yelling, acting like a dictator. Greet each coach with a smile. I go up to the coaches and when I ref and just say hi, just so I acknowledge them, they acknowledge me, and then you just start a rapport that helps for the game. They realize you're human. You're not just some robot that's reffing. So I usually have a lot better matches when I greet the coaches. So if you're dealing with players in the field, like they're pushing or elbowing or just getting a little bit less or more aggressive, or they're starting to talk a little bit, you just need to be firm with them. And so they know that you're managing the game, they're not. If there's issues that arise that are beyond what you can handle, then that's where we have the field marshals. But 99.9% of the time, you should not have an issue. Just be firm with them. If you have to stop play to talk to two players to tell them to calm down, then do it, because that's going to help you in the long run in the game. Make sure you start the game on time. We're on a tight schedule, so we want to make sure the games are started on time. And then hustle, hustle, hustle is a big thing. Center ref, make sure you position yourself so that you can see the calls and you can make the right calls. ARs, make sure you're staying with the second to last defender and get to the goal line if needed. If the ball's, they're going down and it's really close to the goal line, make sure you're on the goal line so you can see if the ball went out of bounds, or you can see that the ball actually went into the goal and not just sitting on the line. So hustle and get to the goal line. That's really important. Things that you need to have as a referee, make sure you have a referee bag, a watch. Everyone should have a watch just in case the center ref's watch quits working. We got 2 other ARs that have their watches going, so you can center ref can adjust his time and then we can move on. So make sure your watches, your watch, pens and pencils, red and yellow cards. You need to have coins. Make sure you have more than just one whistle. The P whistle's fine, but if it's cold out, it could, with the saliva and stuff, it can freeze that P and then it won't work. So I recommend the Fox 40. You can get them at Walmart for like $4. But if you have a P whistle and you're fine with that, that's fine. Just know that if it's really cold weather, it might not work as well. Make sure you bring flags and water. And club linesmen, if for some reason we only have one ref, hopefully not, and we have to have a parent be the club's lineman, then make sure you have flags for them. More likely they're just going to call out of bounds, and that's about it. But hopefully we don't have to come to that where we have to use parents for ARs, but just in case. So make sure you bring your flags. Make sure you arrive at least 30 minutes prior to the game. You need to check in the referee area, which is by the office. You can look for golf carts. It's right there if you're new to Sunflower. If you don't drive, make sure you have made arrangements for someone to pick you up. And then trash bags, Ziploc bags, in case it's rainy, then to keep your stuff dry. And like we talked about before, make sure you check back in at the referee area, give all your game cards. The center ref is responsible for the game cards to get them back to the referee area. And then also need to check back just so they know that you're done. We talk about this before, sign your game cards, very important, bring it back. And you only get paid if game cards given to the field marshal. So if you drive home with the game card, we don't know who refed because they look at the cards and know who to pay. So make sure you get those game cards to Sunflower. Oops. Dealing with problem coaches and parents, and we talked briefly about this. Be confident in your knowledge of the laws of the game. If after a game you're not sure about a call, look up the rules or look up the laws and see if you were correct. If you have any questions, you can always email me and I can get you an answer. So the next time that you ref, then oh, I need to do it this way instead. Like, for example, we had someone did an indirect kick when there was a handball. All handballs are direct kick. So, it didn't really affect the match, but that's something that, it needs to correct. It needs to be a direct kick, not an indirect kick. Remain calm. If someone's hollering at you, don't yell back at them. Speak respectfully and quietly, so the coach must quiet down to hear you. And do not take someone yelling at you personally. It happens to all referees, even the most experienced. However, once the coach steps over the boundaries and begins to make his comments personal, abusive, he must deal with it slowly and calmly walk over. If he doesn't stop, give him a yellow card. If he continues, then a red card and say that you need to leave. If he doesn't leave, then get a field marshal and we'll get him out of there. I don't think we've had those issues. Hopefully they won't happen this spring, but we'll have more field marshals on hand so that if something like that happens, we'll make sure that someone's there to help you.
And Matt, I'm going to jump in one more time.
Sure.
Guys and gals, when you're refereeing, remember that, like I said, this is a job. You are contractors or employees of Sunflower Soccer, and it is my job to protect you. Yes. So if you have an issue with a coach, you can tell a field marshal or tell me directly, hey, I had this problem. Even if it's not a big deal, if I can take care of every little issue, then we'll have fewer issues. Yes. And I'm a big, mean guy. I don't have any problem going to these coaches and yelling at them about their behavior. So The other thing I would say is remember, as a longtime coach, that some coaches will try to get you unsettled just to get more calls in their favor.
Yeah.
So just ignore them. I mean, sometimes they do it specifically just to make you unsettled. So ignore them. You call your game, and then they can deal with it. If they give you problems, then find me, and I will deal with them.
If you ever hear call it both ways, ref, then you're probably doing your job. I hear that all the time. And it's like, okay, I only can call a foul when there's a foul. So just because there's 4 or 5 straight fouls from one team, it's like, well, maybe that team is just fouling 4 or 5 straight times. So don't get rattled by what coaches or parents say. You just focus on what you're doing. Call what you see. If you don't see something, you can't call it. So if there's a handball and their backs to you and no one saw the handball, don't change your call. If you didn't see it, just because the coach says that was a handball, don't just blow your whistle because, oh, it must be a handball. If you don't see it, you can't call it. And then that's simple. You try to position yourself, but you can, we're human. We're not going to see 100% of everything. The ball moves quick. So, just call what you see and don't worry about what parents or coaches are saying. But like what Alex said, don't let it escalate. If there's a coach that's been bothering you, and I mean, not to the point where he's screaming at you, but it's just uncomfortable, you can let us know, because that if we can, keep the flames down by talking to this coach, then that's going to help throughout the whole season. So don't let anything escalate. If there's something that happened during a game, just email me and we can handle it, because we shouldn't have any coaches. Coaches should coach, refs should ref, players should play. It should be that way. So, anything that happens that it's uncomfortable for you, let us know. All right, pay scale. So we raised our rates, so you get paid a little more this season. So under 8, there's 2 referees. You both get paid 18. Under 9, 10. The center ref gets 18. AR gets 15, and so forth. Standbys still get paid $10 an hour. And the way that works is if you're a standby and you don't work, you sit there for an hour, you get $10. If you go and, we need you on field 9 and say it's under 11 game, then in your AR, then you get $17. You don't get 27, you get 17 because you get paid for the game. But if as you're a standby, you get $10. So you get paid if you ref, you get paid. If you standby, you get $10 standby. And that's consistent across the board. Heartland's the same way. If you just sit there and you're a standby, you get $10 or $12. So we're consistent with what other soccer complexes are doing.
Hey, the other thing, guys, just as the guy who cuts all these checks and sees the literally tens of thousands of dollars that we pay referees every season, I challenge you to go find a job at your age in Topeka where you're going to make more per hour, sitting around playing on your phone in the garage.
Right.
It may not be the funnest job, but go work at Dillon's for a few days and see if it's more fun.
Right. Yeah, you're getting paid well for, like the under 12 games are an hour long. If you're center ref, you get $25 for that. That's a pretty good deal. 17 for AR. That's pretty good. So, yeah. And then, Alex, are we gonna try to do just the checks, or are we gonna try to get them to be direct deposit so you can?
We may actually be able to do direct deposit because we switched payroll providers, but
Okay.
let me talk to the bookkeeper about that. It might be something that we roll out mid-season.
Okay.
Just because, with 60, 75 referees, it can be a little cumbersome, but let me get with her and see if it's possible. I would prefer to do that too, because it'll save me a ton of time.
So to be determined on that. So I'll let you know that information once it comes into play. One thing with matches, Alex, this is probably the most teams we've had. Is that correct for Sunflower?
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
So
It's gonna be a big season.
there's a lot of matches. So be willing to ref. You can make some pretty good dough reffing. So if you can do 3, 4, 5 matches, let me know, because I will assign you. Because I normally what I do is I try to, whoever's available, I try to give everyone games, but we usually fall in where we have more games. So if you're willing to do, 4, 5 matches in one day, let me know. Because I can get you scheduled probably if they're available. And also on that Google Sheet, when I send it out, if you see openings, you can email me back and say, hey, I'll take the 12 o'clock, I'll take the 2:30, I'll take the 3, or whatever is open. And I will assign you. So you can email me back and let me know. Okay, any questions? Take that as no questions. So ready to go. So look for, I will send out some mechanics, like some YouTube short videos, just kind of look so you can see the mechanics of a center F and AR, as well as once we get the schedule finalized, I will get everyone that's available next weekend scheduled, and look for that. And I will communicate through email. I do email a lot. It goes in spurts. It depends on what's going on. So, and then another thing is once we get into the season and there might be a few weekday games, if you're willing to do that, that'd be great. I will have a different Google Sheet for that, and you just let me know. I will put an email out saying, hey, anyone available for these games? And you just let me know which ones you can take. So, Alex, you got anything else?
No, I mean, one of my favorite things about soccer is the referees. And,
Yes.
the original rule says, in the opinion of the referee. Rules are based of the opinion of the referee. So you guys are as much part of the game as the teams. I mean, nobody wants you to be too much part of the game, but, your decisions have weight in the game, and don't let coaches or players try to sway that. You're trained for a reason, and Matt and I both know how valuable all of you guys are, and we're trying to get the coaches to recognize that too. So
Right.
I appreciate you reffing with us, and if there's anything we can do for you to support you, then come find me or tell Matt or somebody so we can get you taken care of.
Yes. And also there'll be for the under 8 games, initially, we're probably going to be, and I'll put in an email, but we'll probably be a little more lenient on the throw-in. Maybe give them one more chance because they're just starting up again, so they forget that they can't jump or they can't pick their foot up. I know coaches at that level, they want a chance for their kid to learn how to do throw-ins, and that's something they'll do in practice. But I'll put out an email, and just for the under 8, I think initially we'll just be a little lenient on the throw-ins a little bit, give them a second chance, and if they don't do it right, then we'll switch to the other team. That's it. But
what we talked about with the coaches is our goal is to develop soccer players, right?
Right.
We want to have the best soccer players we can.
Right.
Not necessarily the best, the best rule followers, but remember these kids are 6, 7, 8 years old.
Right.
And they don't know as much about soccer as you guys. So help them learn just as much as their coaches are, remind them, hey, don't do that, or I'm going to have to call you, or,
Right.
You have to keep your feet down when you throw it in. And you can even remind them, at the younger ages before they take the throw, make sure you keep your feet down, or
Right.
tell them what they did wrong when you make the call so they don't do it again.
Right. And then like sometimes they might know what a goal kick is. If it's a new kid never played before, you might have to tell them you kick the ball right here, or that's a corner kick, you go to the side. You might have to kind of visually tell them what to do initially. And then after the 2 or 3 weeks, the kids understand. So it kind of happens that way in the very beginning. They just kind of have to help them. Whoever's doing under 8, you have to be a kind of a little coach on the field to help the kids to keep the game going. So,
and if you have a parent or coach that complains, hey, you're not supposed to be helping the other team, you tell me about who that is, and I will set them straight for you.
Right. This is for under 8, under 9, 10, they should know. This is just the under 8s because they're young. So, all right. I don't have anything else. Anyone else? Any questions? We're good. Ready to go. All All right, I'll take that as a yes. So thanks for joining. This email or this link will be out there on the website as soon as I can get it to Alex. And I look forward to signing you and getting on the field. We'll see you next Saturday.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.